You are watching Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. We're looking ahead to the first ODI between India and Australia. Remember, this is a 5-match series. That after Australia won the 2 T20I series, winning that one 2-0. I'm Nikhil Naz, with me Sanjay Manjrekar and Sean Tate. We'll get down to the business. Sanjay, tell us 3 things that India needs to work on going ahead into that first ODI.
Well, you've got to say that India have, at the moment, Ambati Rayudu has 4 and Kedar Jadhav at 5, but I'd like to see more options there and maybe batsmen a little more ability than Rayudu and Kedar Jadhav to be alternatives.
Okay, next thing?
The other thing is the third spinner, because India would want to go into a World Cup because spin is India's strength and the world doesn't play spin that well. So have a look at Jadeja, how he goes, he becomes the option, and whether Vijay Shankar can challenge Hardik Pandya for that all-rounder slot is something that we can see.
Whatever little you saw of him with the ball, of course we've seen it with the bat, do you think he can?
Well, he's a guy who is a batsman, averages 47 at the first class level. Because his overall confidence has improved, his bowling will get a little better, but he's not a 10-over bowler at all, not even 5 or 6.
Okay, the other thing you mentioned was the backup opener in KL Rahul that you'd be looking forward to seeing. You are still treating him as a backup opener, not as a middle-order batsman.
I want India to win this series because it's not a good thing, experimenting so much and losing everything. So I want India to win the first 2-3 matches and then maybe rest somebody in the middle, try Rahul at number 4 and 5 and see how he goes, and then maybe rest Dhawan or Rohit and try him as an opener. So give him a few games, have a look at him, but let's not get too carried away by his form because it's a T20 form.
Yeah.
And T20 is where you just go and unleash your talent, which he has in plenty. 50 overs, he'll have to think a little more. Test matches even more so, where he has failed recently.
The other thing one was looking forward to seeing in this particular series is that 4th seamer, but no chance of seeing that as well. We still don't have a clear picture. After all those one days we played in Australia, played here, the T20s we played here, we still don't know who that guy is.
I think Umesh Yadav has lost his chance after that 1 over in that T20 game. So maybe India might not go back to him. Siddharth Kaul is the new guy that they're having a look at. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Shami and Bumrah will be the 3 seamers, and then Hardik Pandya, when he's fit, becomes India's 4th. I like Khalil Ahmed. I must confess that out of the rest, Khalil Ahmed is my pure seamer's choice, but India will go with Hardik Pandya as the 4th seamer.
You think a bit unfair on Umesh then going back, because you say he lost out based on that one T20 performance.
And all the matches before that. He's been around for a long time, so nobody was convinced that Umesh Yadav is your bowler for white ball cricket. He had that one opportunity, couldn't quite seize.
Alright, let's now turn our attention to the Australian team. They did very well in that T20I series. Not many expected them to win with what we saw of them in Australia. But let's take a look at what Sean thinks needs to be done with this team to ensure that they have that same sort of performance in the ODI as well. Sean, okay, I'll let you take this over. The first one I see, finding a set batting position for Glenn Maxwell. I'm thinking you would want to see him at number 4. Is that correct?
I think so. I mean, obviously one-day cricket is very different to T20, and he's probably our best player in T20 cricket right now. But you think, where's he going to bat in one-day cricket? I don't think anybody's really sure. I mean, he says number 4 for him is a comfortable position. And the way he played in the T20 series, you have to look at that and go, well, maybe he's the man for the job. He can get himself in, play a little bit different, and hopefully finish off the innings. Or do we play him a bit lower, bat him at 6? And see how he goes down there.
Sean, he may want to bat at number 4. I was just listening to some comments made by the coach there, and he's of the opinion, Justin Langer, that yes, if he wants to bat at number 4, let him give me some consistent performances, and then I'll allow him to keep batting at 4.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a World Cup year, then you could bat him wherever you like. But because there's a World Cup coming up, things change. So I think. I tend to agree a little bit with Langer and say, well, if he wants to bat at 4, then he's in good form, he's comfortable, and we haven't been very good in one-day cricket of recent times, let's be honest. So maybe number 4 for Glenn Maxwell is right in one-day cricket.
Okay, the other thing I see that you want Australia to sort out is the balance of the team. I'll let you expand on that.
I still think Australia doesn't know what their one-day team's going to be. So that's where I'm coming from with that. Over the years, if you look back over the last, 2, 3, 4, 15 years, we've always known our one-day team. We know what it's going to be. And right now, we've had a pretty ordinary record in one-day cricket. So we have to work out what our team's going to be and try and get a bit of concrete around the team you're picking, because going to World Cup, players need to know where they stand and where they're going to be batting and where they're going to be bowling.
All right, let's now turn our attention to the team that India should play. Now, a few changes in the squad that India is carrying for the ODI, especially in terms of the bowlers that they've got in. It's very different from the T20I team. We'll have Sanjay Manjrekar playing 11 that he'd like to see, and he's gone in with the regular openers in Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, not like the T20Is where we saw them change a bit. Ambati Rayudu also comes back, so does Kedar Jadhav into this squad, and Mohammad Shami, as far as the bowlers are concerned, Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal. The looks of your team suggest that this is the strongest Indian team that you've got.
I always tend to make a statement, when I get an opportunity, and and Sean likes my principle in the game that no bits and pieces players for me. That's why Vijay Shankar, if he starts batting at number 5, or Hardik Pandya starts getting runs consistently at 5 and 6, then he comes in and becomes the additional bowler in the team. So I picked 5 genuine bowlers with Kedar Jadhav as the 6th bowling option.
Okay, also just looking at the team, you also haven't gone with Rishabh Pant. Have you lost patience with him as many others have?
No, not really, because you've got to get Ambati Rayudu a game, and Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma should start off. As I said, India should look to win this series, so play your best one-day team in the first 3 matches, and Rishabh Pant somewhere along the line try Rahul as well. But for the moment, where does Rishabh Pant bat? If he bats in the middle, then he'll have to take the place of somebody like a Kedar Jadhav or Ambati Rayudu, who have done quite well. Kedar Jadhav's 5 or 6 overs are priceless for Indian 50 overs. Can't drop him. Dhoni, can we drop him? No. Forget about his status in the game. He's also had some great recent form in 50 overs cricket to
Man of the
warrant.
series.
So no place at the moment for Pant, and going, if India take a winning lead, then maybe experiment with other places.
All right, as Sanjay says there, if you really want to experiment, maybe experiment after the first 3 ODIs once the series is done, and India has done rather well at that. Okay, let's now turn our attention to the Australian team. What is the likely 11 that Sean Tate would like to see? It's going back to the traditional openers in Aaron Finch and Darcy Short that Sean's got there. And of course, as far as the bowling is concerned, you've got Pat Cummins and Jai Richardson. He had a great series against India in Australia, even though Australia lost that one. And you've got 2 wicket keepers there. You've got Hanscom and Carey there. Sean, who'd be your keeper? Carey, I'm guessing. And why is it that you've gone with both the wicket keepers?
Well, I just think that Peter Hanscom's probably awarded his spot in the side as a batsman. I'm a bit of a fan of what Sanjay's saying about bits and pieces play. The side that I've gone with there's one all-rounder, which is Stoinis, and the rest of them are batters or bowlers. And I think obviously Darcy Short comes in for Shaun Marsh, who's injured. So yeah, I look at that team. I think it's a pretty solid one. One all-rounder. I mean, obviously Maxwell bowls his overs and fields pretty well, but he's a batsman. And Marcus Stoinis is a batsman that can bat at 6 and bowl a few overs. But the rest of it is bowlers and batsmen. That's the way I think it should go.
Finally, prediction time. India won the last series 2-1. Have lost the T20I. What do you expect happens here?
India is a very good 50 over side, and of late, they've been winning most of their 50 over games. T20s was more of just trying and playing around with selection, so I wouldn't look too much at those setbacks. India, the much fancy team to win.
All right. Sean, do you agree? Very different Indian team to the one that we saw in T20I. I mean, looking at the playing 11 that Sanjay has also picked, I mean, the squad in general, this is looking like the stronger Indian team.
Oh, mate, exactly right. We've got to be very honest here. T20 cricket is different. It's going to be very difficult for the Australians to win this series. India are a formidable one-day team. Over the course of 50 overs, the good side comes out on top more often than not. And I mean, Australia, obviously, they've got a bit of momentum, and things are looking a lot better for Australia. But I still think India are the best one-day team in the world. It's as simple as that. And it's going to be a tough task, but we won the T20 series, so that it makes for a bit more of a exciting series for the one-day tournament.
Sean, the form of Maxwell makes a bit of a difference because he's the kind of player that if the match gets really close and if he's batting out there, Because he plays spin well too. He's not somebody who's all at sea against spin. So he could just be that little shock factor for India in that series. With the
Whether he bats at number 7 as we saw him in the series before, does he come at number 4 as we saw him in the T20I series? We'll have to wait and watch. Gentlemen, we'll leave it at that. Sanjay Manjrekar and Sean Tate, thanks so much for joining us. The first ODI of the 5-match series coming your way from Hyderabad. You are watching Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.